slid it over. Is that what I was supposed to do? Okay, you can hear me? So I just leave it unmuted and you mute it for me. Okay, thanks. Okay, then I guess we've got it. Testing, testing. Sound good? Thank you.
Bright good morning to everyone on this continually rainy and dreary week. We welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Lancaster. We are a place of liberal religion in Lancaster where we honor who you are as individuals, who you love, and how you worship. We ask that those on Zoom turn your cameras on to group. And also, we want to welcome you, and we can let them know that by waving to the camera in the back there. And do we have one up here, or is this? Not yet. Okay. We welcome our friends who have been with us here a long time and also for a short time. If this is your first time here, we hope that you will return again and become a part of this loving community. We finally want to welcome Reverend Megan Mathieson, who is joining our community today as our guest minister.
And good morning. If you would like, you can open your gray hymnal here to hymn number 29. And we can start with some singing. Hymn number 29, Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee.
We light this flame to remind us love is the center. As we grow and connect, mature and deepen, love remains the center. When the light of truth burns all else away, love remains. Amen. And welcome. 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 It is wonderful to be here this morning with you all. This is a beautiful place to be, and I am just so happy to be looking at your beautiful faces. My name is Megan Mathieson, as I was introduced earlier. Thank you for welcoming me. And if you, as George said earlier, if you're a longtime member here, welcome. If you're a first-timer here, welcome. Everyone is welcome, regardless of any reason you may feel like you don't fit in here, or you're the one person that maybe sticks out here, or maybe you weren't sure about walking in the door, you are welcome here. So thank you for making me feel welcome as I'm visiting. Welcome. Welcome. Let's start with a reading.
So the people can hear you.
Okay, as I was saying, it looks like we do have a few younger individuals here. We invite you to come up. This is what we call our gathering of all individuals. If there are other individuals who are young in spirit, you may also come up and sit with us as we talk a little bit about God. Good morning. You are John Paul? Welcome. Anyone else want to come up? All right. So, once upon a time, there was a village with a road that went straight down through the center of the town. One day, something strange happened. God walked down the road, and she was beautiful. She wore a long flowing robe, and on top of her head was a wonderful hat. All the people stopped to stare at God as she walked by, and they kept staring until she disappeared in the distance. Boy, God sure was beautiful, said one man. And what a beautiful blue hat she had on. Yes, God was beautiful, said a woman from the other side of the street. But it wasn't a blue hat she was wearing. It was a red hat. You are wrong, said the man. It was definitely a blue hat. No, you are wrong, said the woman. It was definitely a red hat. As the two argued, others joined in the dispute. Soon, the whole village was arguing. All the people on one side of the road were certain that God was wearing a blue hat. All the people on the other side of the road were certain that God was wearing a red hat. People got mad and started screaming at each other. Finally, the people got so angry that they decided to build a wall that went straight down through the center of town. From that point on, the people on one side of the wall were enemies with the people who lived on the other side of the wall, and they never spoke to each other. On one side of the wall, the people built a church where they worshiped a god that wore a blue hat. On the other side of the wall, the people built a church where they worshiped a god that wore a red hat. Many years passed, and the people were still enemies. Then one day, God came walking back through the village. She was smiling and balancing on top of the wall that the people had built many years ago. This time, she was wearing no hat at all. All the people ran to the wall and cried, "You must settle our argument." "Yes," said one man, "the people on that side of the street say that when you walked through the village many years ago, you were wearing a blue hat. But we know better. We know you were wearing a red hat. So tell us, God, what color was your hat?" God looked puzzled for a moment and began to scratch her head in thought. "I think I remember walking through this village many years ago," said God. "And on that day, I believe I was wearing my hat that is blue on one side and red on the other." And saying nothing more, God continued walking down the wall until she disappeared off in the distance. It was very quiet for a moment. Suddenly, there was a sound of one child laughing, and then another child started laughing, and another. Soon the whole village was roaring with laughter. Everyone was laughing because they realized how foolish they had been. As the sound of the laughter grew louder and louder, the wall began to shake and crumble until finally it came tumbling down to the ground. For many, many years after that day, the people told the story of God's hat and how laughter had torn down the wall between a divided and foolish people.
The end. Thank you for reading that. You can go back to your seat. How's that sound? Ooh, that sounds good. Y'all can hear me, right? So, after hearing this story about God's hat, I have to ask a question you're not supposed to ask in a Unitarian church, which is, do you believe in God? That's a tough question for a lot of us. That's a really tough question. And I want to share that I'm probably asked this question more than your average person, because just in casual, everyday conversation, when people find out that I'm a minister, that's what they want to talk about. They want to talk about God. That's the first thing people think of when they say church. And when people tell me that they don't believe in God, and maybe you don't, I'm always curious. Tell me about the God that you don't believe in. Who is he? It's pretty much always a he that people don't believe in. Rabbi Lawrence Kushner tells this story about a conversation with some kids from his Jewish congregation. I'm going to read a little bit from this book, Honey from the Rock, where he says, "Once I was to lead a Shabbos afternoon discussion with some grade school children from the congregation. I wanted to talk to them about holy matters, and so I asked them if they believed in God. I thought that some would and some wouldn't, and that we would have a lively discussion. But to my astonishment, no one raised a hand. They weren't spiteful or disinterested or even impious. As a matter of fact, they were serious, interested, and honest. And by their silence, they were simply saying they did not believe in God, in much the same way they might have matter-of-factly said that it was not raining. My surprise soon became sadness. This must surely be the end of the line, the final despiritualization of American Jews. So we spoke about other things. I don't remember what. I only recall a great disappointment, a kind of finality and defeat. So it's come to this. 3,000 years of fire and piety for a bunch of spoiled, rotten, I was mad, little suburban kids who unemotionally say they don't believe in God. And then, sometime later on, during that same unremembered discussion, I thought of a different question. Or maybe it was the same question. I asked them if any of them had ever been close to God. And every one of them raised their hands, freely and naturally, unaware of any contradiction or inconsistency. But now I had to have proof, so I asked them when and where. And one by one, they described what I believe to be the Jewish experience of God. One told me of the previous evening when we had lit the Shabbos candles. Another of a few months ago, amidst anger and sadness upon the death of a grandparent. And still another of a few days earlier, when even though they didn't feel like it, they helped one of their parents. So, I'll reframe that question, or rather I'll add to it. Do you believe in God? And have you ever felt close to God? I'm still not sure that I would have raised my hand in that classroom. I'm not sure that I felt close to God. But for me, in my experience, God isn't necessarily something to be close to. For me, the divine, if you call it God, is already here, in us and through us, and this. For me, the experience that I have is that all is holy, that everything is infused with God in a way that I'm not really sure how to express or explain. So like the villagers in the story of God's hat, we all see different things when we look to the divine. And some of us see something that we want to use the word God, and some of us do not find that word at all helpful. The word God itself can feel so wrong to so many of us who do not experience what we were taught that that word means. A judging man on a cloud? No, of course not. A giver of strict rules? A punisher? None of that feels right. None of that is my experience. Universalism, by definition, is the belief that we're all saved. We are universally loved, infinitely, and that hell can't possibly exist because God welcomes all. When I converted to UU, one of the things I was told is one of the very few rules we have is that you can't believe in hell. We don't believe in the existence of hell. We don't have a lot of dogma. We don't have a lot of rules. But we don't believe in hell. We believe that we are loved and that we are divine and that we are not about to be punished for our shortcomings. The original Universalists were Christians who simply rejected the idea that Jesus died to save us from hell. They didn't reject Jesus. They accepted him as a loving teacher, a teacher that taught about love. They said, the original Universalists, that God is too full of love to harshly punish us. And because of that, we are free to question and find our own way. And in the course of hundreds of years, Unitarianism and Universalism have expanded to include all sorts of beliefs about God, including those of us who question the idea of an intelligent designer. And that's good. That diversity of experience and diversity of belief is what makes us beautiful and strong. Because when God walks by, we see different sides of her hat. I have a very different experience than you do. And you have a very different experience than the person sitting next to you, even if it's someone you've known a very long time. Our experiences of the other, of the divine, are so different and so diverse. And we can fight about it, or we can rejoice in it. When God walks by, we see different sides of our hat. And not just the hat, but all of God. I could never connect with my parents' or Sunday school teachers' idea of a God out there that you pray to. I was fortunate. I was brought up with a friendly, kind God, a loving Jesus, but it still never connected for me personally because God was out there, someone to have a relationship with, something separate from my being, from my true inner core. And that is not the way I experience reality. And in a parental God who is entirely separate from you is not my experience. The God I experience is impossibly massive, expansive, limitless. The God I experience busts out of the word God. That word is too small. It means small things in our culture, and that's not what I mean when I talk about the holy. The divinity and the reality that I experience is the energy that everything is made of, the connection. This, whatever it is we're doing right here, this is divine. This is holy. This is infused with love. I can't put it into words. I'm standing here and I'm trying, and as a minister, I've been trained, and I can't put my experience of God into words. And I wonder, what does your God look like? What color hat is your God walking around wearing? Is your experience of the divine better described by other words that we use here, like the great mystery, the ground of all being, spirit of life? They say there are no atheists in foxholes. And in times of trial, humans historically have turned to their connection to the divine as a source of comfort. In times of pain, we turn to God or something close to it. In times of separation, we connect to one another by connecting to the divine in one another. So I'd like to celebrate together what we're going to call a joy communion. And I'm not going to ask you to get up out of your seat. This is going to be done right where we are. And we're making this up. Joy communion is a made-up thing that we're making up together this morning. We're going to commune with one another through our joy, through our shared joy. We're going to connect to whatever the divine is for you, because it is here and now. So let's take a moment to connect to that, to connect to whatever that mystery is deep within you, summoning up reserves of joy in your soul and calling forth the many colors of God's hat to unite us in joy this morning. The spontaneity of joy, the ground of all being. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes as you feel comfortable, and as best you can, picture God's hat. How does the divine reveal herself, himself, itself, themselves? How does the divine manifest to you? What are you seeing? As I read this meditation on the names of God by Reverend Richard Fox, allow your experience to manifest to you. Can you feel a deep well of joy rising up in you as you connect to God's hat? Can you feel how that connects you to everyone and everything else? In this present moment where there is nothing else, you are safe, you are secure in this present moment. Can you connect during this time and allow your energy to grow beyond your body and connect with all there is? O Vishnu, Maya, Kali, Great Mother of Creation, Womb of the universe, the feminine divine, blessed art thou who has given life to all and receives us at the end. Jupiter, Zeus, Apollo, Dionysius, the masculine divine, God of ecstasy and wine. Amen, Horus, Ra, God of beginnings and endings, soaring like a bird to the life-giving, light-giving power of the sun. Shiva, Shakti, yin and yang, the dance of life and death from hand to hand in perfect balance, the movement of forces as the earth turns 'neath the stars in their courses. Rama, Krishna, Brahma, God of the Upanishads, Rig Veda, mystic priests, Bhagavad Gita, Om Shanti, the lotus, a holy vow, creating our own karma and reincarnation here and now, and the ever-present realization, thou art thou. Buddha, Nirvana, the enlightened one, liberation sought and won, in daily life begun, under a tree in the sun. To a state of being indescribable, comparable to none, Allah Akbar. Ahura Mazda, there is no God but God, Allah, the one. Purity of fire, goodness and truth to inspire. Let the call ring from minaret to spire. El Shaddai, Adonai, Yahweh, Elohim, the God of peace be with you. 10 Commandments, the birth of conscience, a day of atonement, to confess, to forgive, to begin anew. Abba, Spiritus, Logos, God in 3 persons, God in one, God in all persons, prophets, teachers, daughters, sons, the kingdom of heaven is within us. How shall we address the Alpha and Omega, the stars in their courses? Thou of 1,000 names and yet ever nameless, let us confess the mystery of holiness. Let us proclaim the wonder of one without a name. Let the silence praise you, and the 9 billion stars of thy namelessness. This meditation on the names of God is a meditation about you. For you are not separate from the divine. It is a meditation about us, for we are the cells that make up God's body. We are living, breathing holiness. And so this is our joy communion. Taking your connection, your knowledge of your divinity. For you, divinity may be a comforting mother, For you, divinity may be the vastness of the galaxy. For you, it may be holy doubt. Taking all of our experiences and beliefs and recognizing them as joy, recognizing that we are connected like spokes on a wheel, drawing ever deeper into connection and community, into a singular divine, taking that energy of the divine and the connection and the joy, wiggling your fingers in your lap, feeling the energy radiate through you, through your fingers, through your hands, with your eyes still closed at first, letting this wild, divine energy of your soul rise out of your palms and your fingers, seeing in your mind's eye as you bless all of us, because that is part of our holy tradition in Unitarian Universalism, that it's not just the ordained that do the blessing. We all are holy, and we all bless one another. And we bless you back. We fully connect in ways that are invisible to our eyes, but which are fully real. And when finally opening your eyes as you feel led, palms up in a receiving pose, receiving the energy, warmth, love, and joy that is shooting around this room right now. Looking to your left, looking to your right, looking all around you and noticing your friends and neighbors and strangers and people you've seen before but maybe don't really know. Noticing the unmistakable divinity, the miracle that is each one of us. Our joy connects us. Our joy, which is deeper than happiness. Joy, which does not deny our pain, but rather holds it, cares for it, leans into the pain and the fear, the disappointment, and acknowledges those things. The joys and concerns that we share and that we will share soon. Those concerns are held and loved by the joy of our joy communion. This palpable joy that is here. And for those of you at home, you are no less connected in this moment. I'm going to challenge what you might be feeling. Perhaps you don't feel it. Perhaps if you're at home in front of a computer, you don't feel as connected, but you are. You are. We are all connected in our joy communion. All of us is held and loved by the joy that is greater than anything. So, if you ask me if I believe in God, I will say, yes, I believe in joy. It is in us and with us and holds us, the dark and the light. So today, my name for God is joy. And it may change tomorrow. And I might not believe in God tomorrow. I might not believe in joy tomorrow, but today I feel it. I feel it. I feel the love of this community, the joy that holds you, the joy that you have sent out that we can feel in this room. It's been multiplied by everyone and has no boundaries. It knows no time constraints. It is available to you as you go out into your week. This joy of this community is a gift that we are giving you to take with you into your week. It is available to you all week. It is shared in the past with loved ones who are no longer here. It is connected to everything. It is bigger and more powerful and more beautiful than any monster hiding under any bed. Thank you for connecting with me this morning. Thank you for creating joy with me this morning. And I would love to continue that joy by singing together our beloved hymn number 123, Spirit of Life, and feel free to stay seated for this.
deity of heaven and hell to that of a more Native American philosophy of finding God in all things and all places. In my own practice of mindfulness, I have experienced the complexities of this web of life of which we are a part. Have you ever looked at a single leaf, one single leaf of a tree, and realized the different veins that run through one single leaf to bring sugar and everything to that leaf for it to stay green? The look, the scent, the taste of a delicious meal, being aware of all that we have. And thank you, honey, as well as anyone else with whom I have shared meals here at UUCL. Or the various strata of a rock, of a mountain as it's been eroded away. I recognize his miracles in everyday events. The birth of a child, the changing of the seasons, the rising and setting of the sun. Unitarian Universalism has brought me to see my sweet Lord in all people, influencing both my life and my profession, recognizing the worth and dignity of all individuals with whom I come in contact. Thank you. At this time, the offering will be taken up. You may put your donations into the plate, or you may also donate via the code in your order of service, as well as going to our website. This week, and I think this month, we are sharing half of the giving with DRUM, which is Diversity and Revolutionary UU Multicultural Ministries. So we thank you for your giving. At this time, as is our custom, we have the stones of joys and sorrows or concerns. We will have you come up silently to put your stones of joy or sorrow in the bowl over there, and Reverend Mathieson will have a few that she will be adding at the end. So
brought with you today. And I'm going to do one more for world peace. That every human should know the feeling of peace and safety that we have the privilege of feeling right now in this space. Amen. Thank you. Now let's hold this moment of silence. This pastoral prayer is a poem written by Reverend Tess Bumbarger. God is water sleeping in high-piled clouds. She is gentle drink of rain, pooling lake, rounding pond, angry flooding river. She is frothy, horse-maned geyser. She is glacier on mountains and polar ice cap and breathtaking crystalline ideas of snowflakes. She is frost dance on trees, and we are drops of God. Her tears of joy or sorrow, ice crystals and raindrops in the ocean of her. God is air wallowing all about us. She is thin blue atmosphere embracing our planet, gentle breeze. She is wind and fearsome gale. Centrifugal force of tornado and hurricane, flurry of dust storm. She is breath, spirit, life. She is thought, intellect, vision, and voice, and we are breaths of God, steady and soft, changeable, destructive. We are her laughter and sighs, atomic movements, sardines schooling in the firmament of her. God is fire burning, day and night. She is sting of passion, blinking candle, heat that cooks our food. She is fury, forest, fire, and flow of lava which destroys and creates, transforms. She is home fire and house fire. She is giving light of sun and solemn mirror face of moon and tiny hopes of stars. And we are little licking flames flickering in her heart, in the furnace of her. God is power of earth in and under us. She is steady, staying, fertile loam, body, matter, tree. She is crumbling limestone and shifting sand, multicolored marble. She is rugged boulder and water, smoothed stone. She is gold and diamond. She is tectonic plates and their motion, mountains rising over us, rumble, snap of earthquake, tantrum of volcano. She is turning of our day, root of our being, and we are pebbles and sand grains and tiny landmarks in the endless terrain of her. God is journal of time, marching through eternity. She is waking of seasons, phases of moon, movement of stars. She is grandmother, mother, daughter. She is transcending spiral of ages whose every turn encompasses the rest. History, a mere babe balanced on her hip. She is spinning of universes, an ancestress of infinites. She is memory. She is presence. She is dream. And we are brief instants, intersections, nanoseconds, flashing gold-hoped moments in the eons of her. And God is. And we are. Amen. Now let's say together our affirmation of faith, which is found in the gray hymnal. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Iglesia. Y el servicio es su ofrenda. Este es nuestro gran pacto, el convivir unidos en paz, el buscar la verdad en amor, y ayudarnos unos a los otros.
As we wrap up today, there are a few announcements that we have. Please join us downstairs for coffee hour. You can either go out and down the stairs, or there is the elevator out there that you can go down if you do have difficulties walking or anything like that. Also today, we're having a little potluck, so you please join us. If you've not brought anything, we hopefully will share of our abundance, and if you have, we thank you for bringing something for the feast. During that potluck, you can learn more about our program here called Dinner Go Round. Dinner Go Round is a program that we have where individuals sign up and will share a meal with about usually 8 individuals at a household, and each family or whatever brings a certain food, and you share with that and enjoy stimulating conversation. So if you're interested in doing that or just want to find out more information about that, you can certainly contact individuals. There will be individuals downstairs that have sign-up sheets and everything if you're wanting to do that. And just a couple of other reminders, we will be having our fall town hall meeting on October 13th at 11:30 a.m. following the service that day. And coming up on October 27th will be our fall congregational meeting.
Friends, if you want to join me in singing the closing song here together, you'll see the words are in your order of service there. If you don't pick up the first time, you can sing with me the second time, and if all else fails, just follow my arms. We are here together in this holy moment, and we're grateful for the winding road that brought us to this place. We have spent time together, and these holy moments
life. We seek to touch that joy which never leaves this world, that is not happiness built on happenstance, but is a living, breathing joy, greater than any single moment. In those moments, we